Every culture since the dawn of time has had its share of mythical creatures and mysterious beings which are said to inhabit their surroundings. In this video, I'm going to be covering the most fascinating and terrifying creatures that, according to legend, inhabit the nation of England to this very day. As for why I'm doing solely England in this video, and not the entirety of the British Isles, I felt it would be best to make this video solely about England, as I found England is quite unique amongst the British Isles in terms of folklore, and I would like to make a video covering the mythical tales of the more Celtic-influenced nations of the Isle at a later date. But with all that rambling out of the way, let's get into the actual video, shall we? The first creature I'm going to be including on this list is the terrifying entity known as Springhill Jack. This unnerving creature was first spotted in London in 1837. It is worth noting though that although this creature appears to have originated in London, later sightings were reported all across the country of England, but were especially prevalent in suburban London, the Midlands, and there were even some in Scotland actually. This creature was described by eyewitnesses as having a terrifying appearance, which gave off an evil and demonic vibe, for the lack of a better word. This being was also said to possess clawed hands and eyes that resembled red balls of fire. One reported sighting also claimed that beneath a black cloak he wore a helmet and a tight-fitting white garment. As for this creature's stature, it was said to resemble the appearance of a tall and thin gentleman, as long as you didn't notice his glowing red eyes and clawed hands, of course. Several reports mention that he was also able to breathe out blue and white flames and speak comprehensible English if needed. All these traits pale in comparison to the ability of his namesake though, which was his remarkable vertical leap. Almost all the sightings of this terrifying creature mention the astounding leaps he was capable of. In the first ever reported sighting of him, several witnesses claimed he escaped capture by jumping over a 2.7 meter or 9 foot high wall while cackling with a high-pitched, ringing laughter, adding to the terrifying nature of this being. If this is the kind of thing that freaks you out, first of all, it'll be alright mate, I'm pretty sure Springhill Jack isn't out to get you. And secondly, the last reported sighting of this creature appears to have been in Liverpool all the way back in 1904, with absolutely nothing coming up about him in the past 118 years. So fear not my lovely viewer, as it appears this creature is long gone, if it ever actually existed. The same can definitely not be said for the next creature on this list though. The next creatures on this list are the infamous and terrifying black dogs. The black dog is said to be of a demonic appearance and is unnaturally large with glowing red or sometimes yellow eyes. As a result, it is unsurprisingly often connected with the devil and is sometimes an omen of death. It is also occasionally connected with electrical storms as well as crossroads, barrows, places of execution, and ancient pathways. As I'm sure you could have guessed by all that, these creatures are generally regarded as sinister or malevolent, with some said to be directly harmful. There are a few exceptions though, such as the girt dog in Somerset, which are said to behave benevolently as guardian dogs, guiding travellers at night onto the right path or protecting them from danger. As for this legend's origins, as it is so ancient, it is difficult to tell whether it originated in the Celtic or Germanic elements of English culture, or just exactly when it first popped up in England as a result. In spite of how ancient it is, a somewhat concerning fact about this being, or group of beings if you believe in this sort of thing, is that this creature has been reported in almost every single county in England, with only two exceptions being Middlesex and Rutland. Possibly an even more harrowing fact is that there are still frequent sightings of these dogs all across England to this day. So if you are unlucky enough to ever run into one of these terrifying creatures, you better pray it's one of the good ones. The last creature I'll be including on this list is definitely the most terrifying in my opinion, being the changelings of primarily Celtic mythology. Changelings, also historically referred to as orphs or oafs, are human-like creatures or fairies which are believed to kidnap children and impersonate them in order to essentially replace the child in that household. Now, unlike the other two creatures on this list, these beings are said to call a wide array of European countries home, but in England they are usually said to be found in northern England, Cornwall, and the Isle of Man. Even though these creatures are said to look exactly like human children, hope was not lost if you suspected your child had been replaced by a changeling. It is usually said that there are a few clues of a child being a changeling, one being that the child may appear sickly and will not grow in size like a normal child, and another being that they may display intelligence far beyond their apparent years, as well as possess uncanny insight. By far the most noticeable clue in terms of appearance, though, is that they apparently sometimes had longer teeth or even beards. Now, while all these clues might help you confirm your suspicions that your child was a changeling, they aren't really very useful if you don't know how to get rid of one. There are two methods mentioned of how to force one to identify itself and subsequently get rid of it in the English mythology, being to either surprise it into speech or to make it laugh. In one tale, a mother suspected that her baby had been taken and replaced with a changeling, a view that would be proven correct one day when a neighbour ran to her house shouting, "Come here and you'll see a sight. Yonder's the fairy hill, a-allow." A-allow, or a-allow, I'm not quite sure, meaning on fire. To this, the changeling got up and said, "Where's me? What'll come of me wife and barns?" Which pretty much just means, "Oh no, what'll come of my wife and children?" and made his way out the chimney. Fortunately for people like me though, unlike the other inclusions on this list, changelings quite obviously seem to have no real modern basis or sightings other than these mythical old tales, which unfortunately, in my opinion, although it sort of depends on your interpretation, have been forgotten by the modern world. Well, that's going to be it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed researching and making it. If you had any constructive criticism or ideas for future videos, I'd love to hear it in the comments. And make sure you don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. But with all that being said, I hope you guys have a great day, night, wherever you are, and I hope to see you lovely people in the next one.